This morning, we are getting some insight into what is happening from one of the only female journalists who was in Afghanistan.
Hollie McKay has been along the front lines in the region for years now. She's the author of Only Cry for the Living: Memos from Inside the ISIS Battlefield. And Hollie is joining us now live from the neighboring country of Uzbekistan. Welcome, Hollie. Thanks so much for taking the time out here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So please do tell us, what is life like near Kabul, especially lately with this rush to evacuate?
It's an absolute nightmare for people, and it's heartbreaking. It seems every day things are getting worse. People that have all the permissions, even American passport holders, people that have the SIV visas, just simply cannot physically get into the airport to get their evac flight out. They're being blocked, and it's heartbreaking. People are terrified to leave their homes. Each time they do attempt to get there for days and days on end, and only to be sort of turned away. It's such a mess. I don't even have words for it. And as the clock is ticking, you can just imagine the fear that people have for if they don't get out by August 31st, what their life may become.
Hollie, this is such a small world. You are in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent. I was born there. I came to the United States as a refugee. So I know Uzbekistan very well. And Hollie, so many people are scared right now because we know the Taliban are ruthless. We're hearing they're currently blocking Afghans from accessing the Kabul airport, as you just mentioned. You are in Uzbekistan. Are you afraid for your life as a woman who happens to be a journalist to be in Afghanistan? Is that why you're in Uzbekistan now?
Well, actually, what happened in my situation, my photographer, Jake Simkin, and I, we were in Kabul, and then we went north to Mazar Sharif, which is in the north of Afghanistan, to work. We had interviews, and we were on the front lines with the Afghan soldiers there and just sort of piecing things together. And then Mazar suddenly fell. So it was very unexpected. Everybody that we'd been talking to said, it would hold out for a while. And then we were there, and one moment we're doing our jobs and in the markets and interviewing people and outside the beautiful blue mosque, and then the next minute the Taliban are controlling the city, and we had to figure out how on earth we were going to get out of that situation. And the following day was when Kabul fell, so the airport turned into a mess. So any sort of option of getting back to the Kabul airport sort of went up in smoke. So what we had to do was actually use, we had some great help from the Uzbek consulate in Mazar, but we actually had to go with the Taliban, and we had to request that the Taliban escort us all the way along that road to the Uzbekistan border, because they were the Taliban controls that entire checkpoint. So it was certainly a unique experience, but in the end, it was a risk with reward. In the end, my photographer and I, we discussed that was going to be the best option for us, and we were willing to take that risk. And the Taliban honored their word and took us without harm to the border. But I understand that was a courtesy that they extended to a foreigner, and that Afghans themselves are definitely not going to be subjected to quite that level of assistance.
Hollie, as you know, this crisis has created quite the political divide here in the United States. Have you been talking with Americans there? What are their thoughts on the actions of the administration and everything that's been developing?
I think people are just, Americans themselves are just baffled about how this has unfolded, and how a country like the United States of America could possibly have not thought of a better plan than what is happening. And we're really seeing a lot of our allied countries, the Brits, the French, South Africans, Australians, they are seeming have a much better ability to get their citizens out in a much more orderly manner than what America is able to do right now. And I think it's a shameful day, honestly, to be honest, to see how the people who served America, who helped us, who deserve a better life, are being left behind. And that absolutely, I think that's it's a sad day for me to see that, and to be so helpless in not being able to really do more to assist the people who need it.
Hollie, we got to wrap, but I have one last question to ask you. The Taliban, they have a spokesperson, and that man came out saying that the Taliban will have more moderate stances. It was asking women to join their government. They also said that women were allowed to work. Do people believe them?
I don't think, I haven't really met anybody that actually believes them, except maybe the Taliban themselves partially believe that. But certainly, I think Afghans are they're just not willing to wait around to to experiment as to whether that comes to
Yes.
fruition or not. So again, time will tell really how different the Taliban of 2021 is compared to 20 years ago, but people are absolutely petrified. Absolutely petrified.
Is Uzbekistan, before we let you go, showing some force, like, not here, you're not coming here?
I've certainly seen a military presence since I've been here. Just going for a run this morning, I saw several large trucks of soldiers, and there's been, yeah, I can definitely see a footprint. I don't know how normal that is for Tashkent, but I'm sure Uzbekistan is fortifying its borders, and it certainly doesn't want to see any overflow of disruption from its neighbor.
Journalist Hollie McKay joining us live from Uzbekistan with some credible insight on what's happening there near Kabul. Thanks so much for your time here, Hollie. We appreciate it, and stay safe, please.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you.